March the 31st, 2004. We are here to interview Archie Winegeart, Archie Perry Winegeart. We are at the First Baptist Church, Gonzales, Texas. My name is Nick Skipper. I will be conducting the interview. My wife, Ann Skipper, will be operating the camera. We are with the Beulah Land Media Ministries, working in conjunction with the American Legion Post here in Gonzales to prepare these videos for the Veterans Project for the Library of Congress. This tape is of Archie Perry Winegeart, address 4877 South Highway 183, Gonzales, Texas. His place of birth is Luling, Texas in Caldwell County. Date of birth is 2/26/1924. His branch of service is the Army, U.S. Air Force. All right, we got all that out of the way, Archie, so let's just start off a little bit about jogging your memory about when you enlisted. Can you tell us, why did you enlist and where?
Well, I enlisted so I could try to get in this branch of service that I wanted to be in. And that was I enlisted to go to San Antonio, take my basic training there at Fort Sam.
Okay. And what was it that appealed to you about the Air Corps of the Army?
Well, mostly traveling around. I wanted to travel some.
Okay. And do you remember what that was like when you went to boot camp? Where was that, and what was it like?
Well, it was a whole lot different what I'd been brought up around, and it was in San Antonio, Texas, where I took my boot camp.
Okay, was that at Fort Sam?
Fort Sam, yeah.
All right. What were those, were you married at the time?
No. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah. And so you left a wife behind?
Left a wife behind, been married a little better than a year.
Okay. And so what was those first few weeks like in boot camp with not any contact with the family?
Well, it was pretty hard sometimes, you know. I was only 18 years old and been staying around home close, and it was pretty tough there for a little while.
Okay.
I met a bunch of friends and everything, and then new friends and everything, so that helped a lot then.
Okay. You mentioned friends. Did you enlist with a buddy or just?
No.
Okay. All right, let's talk about what boot camp was like. How was the food?
Well, the food was a whole lot different from what I was used to, of course, but it was good. Boot camp food was good.
Okay. Do you remember any of your boot camp instructors and thoughts that you might have about those days?
Well, it was pretty rough then. What I mean, we went on these marches for pretty good distances, and where we weren't used to. I don't know whether they do it now or not, but they put us pretty well through and they had to do it in a hurry because we had to go on and get somewhere where we'd be hipping.
Okay. Before I go to the next place that you served, did you have other family members, siblings or parents that had been in the military?
I'd had two uncles that was in World War I. That's the only thing.
Okay.
My dad, he was a little too young to go in World War I, so he missed it altogether.
Okay. All right, so you made it through boot camp and they sent you off somewhere else. Where was that and what was that like?
That was Gulfport, Mississippi. I went there to go to airplane mechanic school, and they sent me to airplane mechanic school on a C-47 cargo airplane.
Okay, and how long did that take to teach you how to do what you did?
Well, I was there about right at 9 months taking that training.
Okay. While you were there, did you get leaves? Were you able to go home or?
No, my wife and my mother came down there to visit me one time, and that was all I seen of them till I got back. After I got out, getting ready to get out, I came home one time.
Okay. Of course, back in those days, a trip from Texas to Mississippi was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Okay. Now, when you got to the training, did the quality of food and the barracks and all, did those conditions change? Were they better or worse?
Oh, I believe they were better than they were at when I took my boot camp. But the food was good everywhere I went, far as that's concerned.
Okay. And what about in your downtime? What did you get to do in Gulfport, Mississippi?
Well, there wasn't much to do around Gulfport then. There was.
Okay. Now you had your training, your specialty was on transport, and they sent you off somewhere, I guess. Where'd you go from there?
Well, there I went right on to Norfolk, Virginia from there, and then wound up in Naples, Italy.
Okay. I know a while ago we mentioned that that's a naval base, so you went there to catch a ship.
Catch a ship, yeah.
Was it a regular troop transport, or was it a converted ship?
It was a converted ship. It was a French ship. It was equipped for 6,000 troops on it, and there was 12,000 of us on there.
Wow.
Half of us slept daytime, half of us slept at night.
And how long did it take to cross?
17 days.
That was a long
Time out there. See, nothing. When we left Norfolk, Virginia, there was, I guess, 15, 20 ships. And we got out there about 3 days and woke up one morning and we were out there by ourselves. The rest of them had done split and went somewhere else.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned that you landed in Italy.
Naples, Italy, yeah.
Along the way or upon landing, did you encounter any resistance?
No, no. Well, we had an old blackout all the time where there wasn't any time you smoked a cigarette or anything, you had to be down, you couldn't be on deck. You had to be in the hold to do it. We were always going under black, wasn't no lights at all.
Wow. Okay. So when you got to Naples, was this at a base, or what kind of conditions was this?
Well, I remember when we went into Naples, we went in there where these ships that our boys had already sunk before we got there were still in the harbor. We just had room to get through to unload the boys. That's how many ships were still in the harbor. There were half of them sticking out somewhere and half of them sticking out somewhere else.
Okay. So I'm sure you were greeted with a friendly tour guide?
Not hardly. And I remember that night we left there and went to somewhere in Italy. I don't remember what little place it was, but we wound up the next morning in the middle of Mussolini's grape vineyard. That's where we had a camp. That's where they had the tents for us. And one night we were there, and some of us might near got hung because we were cold, and we cut down a tree of Mussolini's in that grape vineyard to build a fire, and they might near hung us. We didn't supposed to destroy stuff like that.
Oh. Now, was this a temporary camp?
Temporary camp, yeah.
Okay. And so, now, I guess there was an air base there?
There was an air base a little ways from there. It was about 10 or 15 miles from Naples. And that's where I stayed all the time we worked out of there. And that was right at the foot of old Mount Vesuvius, that volcano over there.
Okay. Now, was this primarily a base where supplies were transported, or were there troops transported, or a little bit of everything?
Well, wasn't so much troops imported out of there, but we were based there, and we would go somewhere else and picked up the troops sometime and then take them to where they had to jump out and go to battle.
Okay. So the type of airplane that you mechanicked on was used to transport supplies as well as paratroopers?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. C-47.
Okay. Do you remember some of the some of that assignment, some interesting points that might come to mind that you'd like to share?
Well, the old town of that volcano covered up once way back yonder, that was a real sight to see. That old town had been covered up by lava for so long, and everywhere you could go in the town and you could see where people had been, with it looked like mummies. What I mean, they were just burnt, just solid rock.
Wow.
And that was really something for a kid like me then, 18 years old.
I bet. Did you have occasion to have liberty while you were in Naples?
No. Well, we would go to Naples, that was all, but what I mean, just daytime, day and come back. We never did get any time off for us, a week off or nothing like that, no.
Okay. And so what was a typical work week? Was that an 8-hour shift or?
Oh, it just can to can't sometimes. If you had to get something done, we had to get it done. We couldn't jack our airplanes up and work on them like we should, because underneath that whole base there was a factory outfit that Italy had, that they built stuff underneath the ground. You'd think it was just pure old concrete out there, but it was underneath it. It was a factory down there underneath it. We couldn't raise our airplanes up because we scared they'd go through the jacks would go through the ground, and we work on them, get them ready to go out the next time they hollered for us. When we didn't have anywhere to go, we just laid around the barracks there and took it easy.
Okay.
While we had a chance.
So you worked on the aircraft both there at that base, and then you flew other places to work on them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
Went through all them other countries over there, Belgium and all them over there. We went to all of them.
Encounter any resistance in any of those flights?
Well, some flack is all we would get, when we'd fly over where they'd be fighting. But all the people were nice over there. We'd go to some of these places and get Irish potatoes and bring them back for the boys. And the women would load, 2 men would pick up a sack of Irish potatoes and set it on a girl's shoulder, and she'd bring it to the airplane for us.
Wow.
The men did their work in standing still, but the ladies, they wanted done the walking with and bringing us the potatoes and stuff that we traded for the boys to eat.
Okay. I guess you traded those famous nylon hose.
Oh, no.
All right. During your course with the military, did you encounter any type of disability or injuries?
Yeah, I got shot one time in the leg with some flak, what it was. This flak, you'd be in there and they shoot the shells up there, and then they explode after they get up there, and little fragments will go through things.
So it came up through the skin of the airplane and hit you?
Hit me in the knee, yes, sir.
I bet that was a surprise.
Yeah, it was. And I've had other counters just tell me to get up and walk around and out of the seat that I'd be sitting in. And I had one time a piece of flak as big as that chair come right up through the bottom of the airplane, go plumb right straight through it. Took my seat with it.
Wow.
Somebody just said, get up and move around.
So with the injury, did you spend time in a hospital, or?
I was there 2 days, I think 2 days is all.
There in Naples?
Yeah, in Naples, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's kind of change a bit and talk about what life there was like. How'd you stay in touch with the family while you were overseas?
Well, just with letters is all.
And did those come pretty regular, or?
Well, sometimes we got them pretty regular. It'd be maybe a couple of weeks. It may take a couple of weeks to get one.
Okay.
Back and forth. And everything we wrote was censored. Because I know I'd say something that I didn't know I was supposed to say, and it'd be cut out of that letter when it got to my wife and back home.
I see. In some of the other interviews, the guys have told us about how their mail was sometimes three months late.
Yeah,
I guess being in a place where the mail came through.
We got it a lot quicker. Yeah.
Okay, and so you helped get that mail to those guys.
Get that mail through, yes.
All right. What about other supplies? What kind of supplies did y'all handle?
Well, anything that for them to eat mostly, and then we would take some ammunition, but not a whole lot of ammunition.
Okay. Was there times that you felt pressure or stress, and if so, what caused that?
Well, I don't think it was so much stress. I mean, we could do what we wanted to, when we was off, and that kind of take our mind off of it, and play games and stuff like that when we was around there.
Okay. We always hear about Bob Hope and his tour. Did y'all have an occasion to see any of that?
One time we seen him while we were over. He was in Italy. He was in Naples, and we took a couple of buses and went up there and seen him.
Was it as big a deal as we hear it was?
Oh yeah, it was pretty good size, yeah. A lot of them. And the Englishmen were there too, and on our base too, we see from England. So we had a lot of English people there too.
A little bit of a culture difference.
Yeah, that's right. A whole lot of difference.
All right. Can you recall any humorous events or occasions that you'd like to share with us? Anything, practical jokes or anything?
No.
Okay. Do you remember any of your fellow officers or buddies that you served with there in Italy?
Well, I remember the old colonel I used to fly with, Colonel Holmes. He was from Lockhart at the time being, and that's where his home was. But I didn't know him before we got over there, but when I got over, I met him. And I'd done a lot of running around for him, go to Italy, go to Naples and get this, go somewhere else and get that on the old road, but you didn't travel too fast on them roads. They were made out of about, I guess, a 6 or 8 inch rock that thick, and there may be 4 by 4, and one would be 2 or 3 inches lower than the other. You didn't go too fast.
Oh. Did you have keep a diary while you were in the service?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right,
I wished I had her.
let's talk about, as your service began to come to an end there, how was it that you got to come back home?
Well, we came back home just because, we didn't have any more use over there.
The war had ended.
It had ended. I remember the day it ended, man. We were in some barracks. It was 3-story buildings. You better not walk down the sidewalk that day that it ended. If you did, you get a whole 55-gallon barrel of water dumped on you from that roof. Man, they were having a big time.
So you celebrated by drenching everybody down below.
Everybody that day, man.
All right.
And
so
then,
the good news came, huh?
Yeah.
And
then when we left Italy to come home with flying, and we got to South America, and there was a whole bunch of congressmen there, and their airplane broke down. They took our airplane away from us. They'd maybe been away from home maybe a week or two. We'd been over 2 or 3 years. We stayed there till they got our part for the plane that they broke down, so we could come on home. We stayed there over a month in Brazil, Natal, Brazil, waiting for a piece for an airplane to get there to bring us home, because they took our airplane away from us.
Now, That's the story. Well,
You may want to cut that out.
no, we're gonna leave that. So y'all just loaded up everything on your cargo planes and you headed home.
Headed home, yeah.
And that was nice because you didn't have to go by sea.
That's right. And we came to
You stopped in South America to refuel,
refuel.
and you got bumped.
And we got bumped, that's right.
So and it wasn't just a short bump.
No, well,
So-
some of us stayed, a lot of us had to stay there till the plane, but some of us, like me, I came home on a fella got there in a B-25 and got sick. And so he stayed there, and I got his plane. I come on back to Florida on his plane, and then caught the train there and brought me right straight through Luling, and my wife was there waiting for me, and we didn't even stop. Just right, we didn't even stop there. Went right on to San Antonio first.
Oh. Well, let me back up just a little bit. So, what your short stay there in Bezero, what was that like?
Well, just not doing nothing, just laying around.
Tents, barracks?
No, they were barracks. They were nice barracks.
That was a military base?
Military base, yes.
Okay. And then you didn't care what kind of plane it was, just as long as it brought you home.
Get home, yeah, that's right.
And flew from there on a B-25, which is a bomber,
Bomber, yeah.
and landed in Florida.
I learned.
Was that just a short stay before you caught a train?
Oh yeah, we caught. It wasn't 2 days. We caught a plane. It caught the train. Come
Okay.
right.
Luxury train, I guess.
Not all. It was a troop train.
Troop train,
Yeah.
okay. And passed right by Luling, and
Right
your
by
wife
Luling,
just
my wife,
waving.
I was standing there at the door waving at her as it went by.
Now, did she know you were coming?
She knew I was coming, yeah.
All right, so you got word to her once you
Yeah.
hit Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she was right there outside Lockhart anyways.
Okay.
Close.
So you went to Fort Sam. How long did it take them to let you finally get back home?
Oh, I stayed in Fort Sam a day, and then they gave me a 2-day leave. 2 weeks. And then I wound up in, I got discharged in Tyler, Texas.
Okay.
So
Well-
I had 2 weeks in between from the time I got to San Antonio to be in Tyler.
So you're home, you get your leave. What was that like to get to come home after 3 years?
That was wonderful.
What had changed?
'Cause, yeah, a lot of change. And a lot of boys that I knew didn't get to come back home.
Yeah. All right. After you were discharged in Tyler, what did you do? Did the service help you in any way? Did you go into aircraft mechanicing or?
No, I come right on back and see what did I do. Oh, I went to work for the railroad for just a little while, MKT Railroad, and then I didn't like that because I was sleeping on the sidecar on a car right beside the railroad track, and you couldn't sleep. The train coming and going. So I came on back to Luling, and then I went to work in the building, helping build roads and stuff, contract.
Okay. Did you have occasion to use the GI Bill or any of the other?
I did buy a place here in the little New York out here on the Texas GI Bill land, right, yeah.
Okay. And that was nice.
Yeah, sure was.
Did you continue any of your relationships with the people you served with?
No, very few.
Okay. How about reunions? Have you been to any of the reunions?
Never have heard of a reunion.
Okay.
Now, some of them did, but I know some outfits kept
Okay.
having reunions.
And what about, have you ever joined any veterans organizations?
Well, just American Legion and BFW.
Okay. Is there as you look back over your experience in the war, do you think what you experienced helped you later in life in any way?
Yeah, I do, sure do.
And can
I believe well, naturally the service is gonna help somebody. It'll help some and it'll hurt some people growing up. I think it helped make a man out of me, get my bearings and everything.
okay. Has it affected the way you think, what you think about war and military in general?
Yeah, but it's one of those things. I don't like war. No one does, of course, but that's something we've got to put up with, I guess.
Okay. Well, before we close, Archie, is there anything that comes to mind you'd like to share with us that we haven't asked you, or that you'd just like to put in the record?
No, not that I know of. I know the VA has taken care of a whole lot of us. I went to Alder Murphy for a long time, and they took good care of us, I thought. I don't know whether they're doing now. I quit going because I started just going to see physicians here instead of up there.
Okay.
But what time I did go there, they took good care of us.
All right. Well, thank you very much